Hey y'all, it's Natalie, and it's time for Color First, the series I do with my friend Sara Scraps. And you can see our mood board over there at the top right. It's these lovely purple, peachy, orange, and maybe a little bit of gray, okay? I picked that one, and it is so perfect for the Plum Grove collection by 49th and Market. So all I have today from this collection are these laser cut wildflowers and the 12 by 12 rub-on transfer sheet that you saw me shaking around there. And I cut out this really large word family to use from there. And I don't have any gesso on my cardstock. I have textured like a very light grayish, kind of grayish actually, colored cardstock. And I don't have any gesso because I'm not going to be adding too much liquid. So I'm just using my ink blending brushes to put some linen distress oxide through this wood grain stencil. And now I'm going to turn it into watercolors and create a splatter with that, as well as with, I think I used wild honey and carved pumpkin also. I might have gone back into with some crackling campfire, I'm not sure. But we're keeping it real simple here. And like I said, I didn't use gesso because that water is a very small amount and it does not warp the paper or anything because it's not a lot. So that worked out. And you can see I kind of got like some weird swipe marks, but that's going to be covered up by the photo. So I didn't worry too badly about that. I also added distressed mica spray with the bronze color, and that's the darker brown color you see there, and it has a really great shine. You'll see in a second when I kind of move my page around. There you see how it like shimmers. I love that. Super cool. So now I'm going to position my photos again, cover up that swipe, and make sure that I have room for my title down here. I love to create a mixed media background and then put the rub-on transfers on top of that. It's just like one of my favorite things to do. I want to back the photos with some wood grain paper, and I picked this light color, but then I changed my mind and I wanted to do a dark color. So I chose this Simple Stories wood grain paper, and so I'm just going to stick them down and trim them down to where you just see the nice little brown color behind each photo. And I'm also going to use my Big Mama foam tape roll from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I also use sequins from Spiegel Mom Scraps. I'm going to link down below with my affiliate link, and you can find those things in the store. So this was a party I threw for my cousin. She got married and we had like a shower at my house. And so we got some family photos. We don't really do that very much, so that was nice. These laser cut wildflowers are pretty much the prettiest embellishment I've ever seen. If you've never gotten their laser cut elements, they're fabulous. You just punch them out of this sheet, and they're pretty sturdy. You have to be careful, but also like you're not going to accidentally rip them if you are pretty careful, because I'm not the neatest or most careful person, and I had no problem. And they're so beautiful. I just can't get enough of them. Like, they're just really gorgeous. And I've used the laser cut elements before that were not the florals, and by far the florals are my favorite, which I love a good foliage, a good branch. You can see over there on the right, I also have some glitter die cuts. So I went to my die cut stash. I have some garden, sorry, I can't remember that. I think it's called Garden Foliage by Tim Holtz for Sizzix. And I used that die to cut out some eggplant color, maybe like a rust color, and then a darker brown color to layer in among the laser cut foliage so that I just had some variation. Now, before I start adhering the foliage, I'm going to, how many times can I say foliage? I'm going to use my rub-on here as the title. And I've actually grabbed my little Catalyst contour tool, which I get a ton of questions about. So I'll go ahead and link down below if you're interested in that. But because it was such a big, like normally when I'm doing rub-ons, it's just like a kind of a small one. And this one was such a large one that I wanted to use that. But I end up going back and kind of doing the details with the little rub-on transfer stick that comes with the rub-ons. So kind of use both. And I just realized that I think like the past 4 layouts that I've done for Color First with Sara, I've used these rub-ons, not this collection, but like rub-ons from 49th and Market. But that is just how much I love them. They're so gorgeous. And when I do these layouts with Sara, they're some of my favorites, and they are always like, you know, I'm creating just for me. They're not for a design team layout. And I just like use my favorite things like glitter and foliage and rub-ons. And so that's why you see me creating with them in every one of these Color First videos. So I'm gonna link Sarah's down below. So make sure you go check that out. She has the cutest pictures on hers today. They're so stinking cute. So I'm just kind of putting all the die cuts back on there how I would like them, as well as with the glitter bits that I cut out. Before I adhere everything down, I'm just kind of like putting it on there. And it was kind of like a situation where I just had to tell myself to stop, because I could just keep layering glitter with die cuts all day long. But don't be afraid to make them work for you, you know? Like if you have a sprig and it's a little bit too big for where you want to go with it, like cut it or rip it and make it fit, you know? Like there's definitely no problem there. Those are the Beagle Mom Scrap sequins that I decided to use. They match so perfectly. They're called Plum Royals. They have all the same colors. So I just used my Nuva adhesive, and I mostly just stuck down the bottom parts of the branches. I try to leave a little bit at the top, not with any adhesive, so that they can kind of come up off the page and give a little dimension. And like I said, I did stick up the photos with foam tape, so I'm able to not only stick the die cuts on top of the photo, but I can tuck them in a little bit under each photo and kind of like manipulate them to like stick out a little bit above the photo. And I really like that dimension that it gives. So this was so fun. This is just one of my favorite things to do, is just like stick. It's like flower arranging, but on a layout. And then some of the florals, I used the Pop Dot tape from Beagle Mom Scraps as well, link down below. And I used those when I needed to make the flower be the same level as the photos. So some of them will be adhered directly to the page and some will be popped up, so you get that dimension and really a 3D look on the page. And as far as the sequins go, I'll start those in a minute, but I don't leave them on the camera for much, because all I did was I kind of tucked them in around all of the branches. Some of them I put on top, but mostly I tucked them under, so you just like kind of see a subtle little hint of sequin when you like look at the page in different angles. And I love that look, because we already had a lot of sparkle going on with the glitter branches, so I was thrilled with it. You can see all the photos up close at the end, or I'll also post it on Instagram or the gallery at a cherry on top. There's a lot of places to see still shots, so you can see all the little details. And I almost added like a pattern paper up at the top, like I do. Like I usually cut off a little strip and add a piece of paper a la Missy Witten. But I was like, you know what? There's a lot going on with all of the foliage and the flowers, and I'm just gonna leave it. So I just left it, and I'm really happy with how it turns out. I'll also have like a pocket page that goes with this, because I have other photos from the day. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. Make sure you check out Sarah's Color First video she posted today. It's so cute. Thank you guys for watching. I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye y'all.